Hey family, thank you for clicking on today's video. And if you don't already know, my name is Zarinah Elizabeth. On this channel, we talk about basically how to glow up. We talk about your mental well-being, your spiritual well-being, your physical well-being, and we just have a good time. So if this sounds like the type of channel for you, make sure you consider subscribing. As you can tell from today's video, we are going to be talking about how I dropped 50 pounds naturally as a 40+ girly. So let's go ahead and get into the video. If you see me looking away from time to time, it's only because I have notes, because your girl came prepared today. So let's go ahead and get into it. I wanted to give you guys a little backstory on just me and my journey so far. So I'm 43 years old and I'm 5 foot on a good day. Let the doctor tell it I'm about 4'11" and 3/4 of an inch, but I'm 5 foot, okay? So currently I am weighing about 167 pounds, and for most of my life, I would say as a teen, I would always stay at like 115. I would weigh between 110 to 115 pounds. I had my son at 18, and so I would say after giving birth to him, I was about 120 to 125 pounds for a good part of my life. It was like always like that last 10 pounds that I just couldn't get off. So I was like stuck at that 120, 125 range. And then in my 20s, I was like 130, 135 pounds. After I got about 35 years old or so, I would say I was ranging anywhere. So like I just gradually crept up, and I would like be at between 135 and 150. And at that point I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so big. I can't believe it. I need to lose weight. Oh my God, call the plastic surgeon, cut this, suck this, whatever you got to do, get it off of me. But again, we're talking about like what my experiences were, where I had only, been at 110, 115 pounds for a good part of my life, and to see myself at 150 pounds, I was screaming bloody murder. Now, as a 43-year-old woman, I am like, I wish I could get back to 150 pounds like now. So last time I weighed myself, which was probably about a week or so ago, I was at 167 pounds. I'll put hit myself all in the mouth. I'll put the screenshot of it right here. And I haven't weighed myself in a couple weeks. We have been on a bit of like, I've been referring to it as a bye week. If you're familiar with football, if you're a football fan or something like that, you know how they have a bye week. They get a week off. We are in a bye week right now. So my group, my little fitness group, we are struggling in the new year. The new year has come in with a vengeance of all kind, be it, personal struggles, be it our health goals, be it financial struggles. 2024 has been coming in with a vengeance. Okay. So it's been a struggle so far this year. But what we are focusing on is how I lost the 50 pounds that I was able to get off successfully. So that's just a bit of where I have been as far as like health goals, or where I have been previously as far as weight range. The journey that I'm on right now is on the road to 120 pounds. And this is why, because that's where I was most comfortable for a major part of my life. And, my goal is to reach optimal health, and being healthy and being fit is one of the most ultimate ways to show yourself self-love. And that's a good part of what my channel has been about, is self-love and just a journey back to myself after losing my husband. So I have 2 children. I have a 25-year-old and I have a 7-year-old. So my kids are 18 years apart. So in 2016, I had my daughter, and when I had her, I had started to gain a little bit more weight, just being comfortable in your relationship and happy and all that good stuff. You start to gain weight. And so even though I had started to gain weight and I was happy overall in my relationship, I wasn't happy with my body or what I looked like, because I started to put on more weight on top of what I was already uncomfortable with. So I think I was about around 165 pounds when I got pregnant with my daughter, and I gained about 35 pounds with her. And so, my thing was, I'm going to get this pregnancy weight off and then some. I need to get back down. And at that point, I'm like, I don't want to look like a little kid. So I don't want to be, 120 pounds again, 130 pounds or 135 pounds, even though it was considered heavy or obese on the, that scale that they measure us by in the doctor's office. I felt good at that weight. So I was like, let me just get back down to that. And so I lost the 30 pounds that I gained with my daughter. So after I had her, I was sitting at about 165, 170 pounds. And I didn't lose any more weight after that. I had been nursing my daughter, and I nursed her for a good amount of time. And, I just thought that it was going to help me lose weight, because so many people talked about it helping them lose weight, but no, it didn't help me lose weight. It just, after I lost the initial weight that I gained from being pregnant, it didn't help me lose any additional weight. And I think it probably has to do with the fact that you're constantly maintaining or taking in a certain amount of calories in order to maintain your milk supply. So it's only going to, help you get rid of the excess. It didn't help me lose any more, at least for me. Maybe with other people, same thing like with my whole cycle and everything. Some people that I know, they did not have their cycle for the duration of the time that they breastfed. For both of my kids, my period came back after 3 months. So like some of the benefits that some people got from doing certain things, it just didn't work out for me. So it did not help me further lose any weight. And I apologize. That is Milan with her bone making all of that noise back there. So it did not further help me to lose any weight. So after I had my daughter, I plateaued about 165. Then when my daughter was 2 or 3, we decided to get married. And so I was like, okay, well, I got to lose this weight for this wedding. So I lost weight for the wedding. Now that journey, what I did for that, that's not the journey that I'm talking about, or what I'll be talking about today. I'll be talking about my most recent weight loss journey. In my journey to lose weight for the wedding, I lost about 30 pounds. And so I was able to do that naturally as well. So I was able to lose that. I think from my wedding, I was like about 140, 135 pounds. I was happy to get back in that range. And, it felt good. But again, you're married, you're happy, and so some weight started to creep back on. Also at that time, like I had started a food channel on YouTube, and I was making all of these recipes, and it was during quarantine, and we didn't have anywhere to go. We were just home, and we were just eating. So I easily gained about 10 to 15 pounds back. And then within 8 months of being married, my husband suddenly passed, right? So during that time, life changed. Still dealing with COVID. Everything was not back open. I was in a house with a child, depressed, lonely, struggling, and I was not caring about myself. I was not caring about my health. I was snacking. I feel like all of the things that I did not want, like I didn't want to be approached. I didn't want to be looked at in a certain way. All of that started to come out in my physical, and I had created a border, a boundary of where you could not cross. And in body weight, it seemed like. And I had gained and gained and gained and gained. And the highest point that I had gotten to was somewhere in January 2023. I was like 213 pounds. And that is the most that I've weighed ever. And I wasn't pregnant. So it was just ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Now, again, keep in mind, I am 4'11". I've always had a petite frame. And sometimes weight looks good on certain body types and certain heights, but it didn't look good on me. For all of my taller, thick girls, like that probably looks great, especially like if you're one with like, you know, that pear shape where you're smaller up top and bigger down at the bottom, like that sits well on you. Even the shorter girls who are pear shaped, you know, that might sit well on you. I'm more of a like an hourglass. So the weight does disperse pretty evenly, but I have had 2 C-sections. So my core is non-existent. I still struggle with my core, and my daughter is 7 years old. And so like, instead of my core like being firm and holding back any protrusion, you know, it just pokes. So I felt like I looked pregnant when I wasn't pregnant, and it just wasn't cute. On top of that, I'm heavy at the top. Like I do have big breasts, and I have a round face, and I just was even looking bigger than what I was because I was wearing bigger clothes. The way the weight was being dispersed throughout my body, I just didn't look like myself. I wasn't happy with myself. I was not taking care of myself. I was not showing myself any love, any kindness. And I just didn't feel good. But even seeing myself at the 213 pounds wasn't really enough to propel me into a weight loss journey. I was talking about it. If you guys have been with me long enough and you remember some of those videos, I was like, I'm going to lose this weight. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I have to. It didn't work. I was even preparing myself to go on a trip with my daughter. And I was like, I have to lose this weight because I don't want to be, you know, on vacation and uncomfortable and this and that. And girl, even the trip didn't give me enough motivation to be like, I'm going to lose this weight. It really wasn't until I saw myself on the trip that really was like, you have to do something. So I remember my trip was in June. It was like the very last day of June, I believe. Yeah, it was like the very last day of June. It was like 9 days. So it was like the very last day of June and then the whole first week of July. And I remember prior to going on the trip, I saw a video from this guy who had did this raw detox for I think like 90 days. And he had lost like 40 pounds. And I was like, I wonder if I could do that. Now, just a little backstory. Prior to any of this that I mentioned so far, years and years ago, before being vegan and vegetarian became a thing, I had tried being vegan and vegetarian. I was a vegetarian for 2 years and vegan for 6 months. Being vegan was just way too restrictive for me, and it didn't last very long, but I was a vegetarian for 2 years. And it really came about, it wasn't for weight loss. It was more so health and just out of boredom. I was eating the same things over and over and over again. And I was like, I don't want to eat that anymore. And I just gave up meat cold turkey. And then again, this was before there were so many restaurants and cookbooks and YouTube channels talking about this, where I had again gotten bored with eating the same things over and over again. And I gave up eating, you know, vegan and vegetarian altogether. So then when I saw this guy do this raw detox, I was like, I wonder if I could do that, because I had done stuff like this before. So the video had came and gone. I'm on vacation, and those mirrors were super big and super clear, and I could see every new roll, every dimple. It just It was like the awakening that I didn't want, but I needed. And I realized like, this doesn't look good at all. And also what also helped me to see where I was is that I had to go shopping. I hadn't gone shopping for myself in a long time because I was in the house. I work from home. I wasn't going out anywhere. I'm depressed. I'm grieving. And if I bought anything, it was like stretchy clothes, which, you know, you really can't tell how bad it is. And I bought oversized clothes. So like big tops and maybe like stretchy pants basically was like my wardrobe or my uniform. And so I had to buy clothes for this trip, and I was trying on, I actually was going to make a video of like a haul. And once I saw myself on video, I was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. No one will see this but me. And I was like, wow, I just couldn't believe it. But, you know, I'm going on this trip and I'm going to do this for my daughter. And we went on vacation. We had a great time. But I just knew that when I got back from vacation that I was definitely going to go on a weight loss journey because I had gotten so out of control. And there was no way that I could allow myself to stay there. If I loved myself, if I loved my daughter, if I wanted to be around for her, I had to get it together because it was getting out of control. It was getting worse before it got better. So when I got back, it was July 15th that I was like, okay, this day, because I think that fell on a Monday. And I was like, this is the day I'm going to start my weight loss journey. And so I had gone shopping and did all of the things in preparation. And I started my raw detox. And I had did it for 45 days. And during that 45-day detox, I felt after like the first week, because I'll tell you, like the first week, I missed warm foods and I missed chewing. Like it was like, you know, with fruits and vegetables, you don't have to chew that much. You know, you just couple bites and it's down. I missed the having to gnaw on meat and stuff to break it down in my mouth, and just that whole process of eating. I missed that so much in the first week. After getting past that, I was like, okay. And I found myself, being that everything was like raw and I missed warm foods, I just began to like drink warm things. So I didn't have any coffee during that time, but I was drinking, you know, green tea and stuff like that, so I can get some warmth because I missed that. Those are the things that stood out to me the most. But during that time, I felt the most electric. I felt that I had the most energy. I would not have to sleep as many hours. I could still go to bed at like 12 o'clock and I would wake up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. Like my body was electric. You know, I was eating alkaline. Everything was where it was supposed to be as far as like my levels and nutrients. And I felt the most electric and energized and best feeling that I felt being on a raw detox journey. And I see why people do it 24/7. It's definitely something I would consider doing. But as of this point, you know, I definitely think it needs to be done a couple times a year to like recharge and reset your battery, because it definitely had me feeling the most alive I have felt ever, you know. So during that 45 days, I lost, I want to say about 18 pounds. And if I can go back in my app for my scale, I will show you the screenshot. I'll put it somewhere on the screen. So I had lost about 18 pounds, I believe, during that 45 days. And so that brought me to somewhere around September. And I remember saying, okay, well, I think I'm gonna like wean off of this raw diet and go into just a plant-based diet because it's getting cold and I'm gonna want warm cooked foods. You know, it's easy to do raw when it's summertime and you have an abundance of fresh fruit and vegetables that you like, but then when you're going into the fall months and you don't have like the watermelons and, certain things as much, now you're going into squash and apples and, stuff like that, I'm like, okay, I'm going to want some warmer food. So I went to just a plant-based diet. After coming off, and while I was on the raw detox, I was working out, but I wasn't doing anything crazy. I would work out a couple times a week, more so cardio than anything. And it was just what I could do, I did. After I came off of the raw diet and school was starting and I was getting back into a regular routine without, with my daughter not being in the house and just having more free time, I said, okay, I'm going to do the 75 hard challenge. And a girlfriend and I did the 75 hard challenge. If you don't know, 75 hard is where you're doing 2 45-minute workouts a day. You have to do 10K steps. You have to drink as many ounces in water as you weigh. So if you weigh 160 pounds, you need to drink 160 ounces of water. And you have to have a sensible meal plan that you need to stick to. If you mess up on any of those things, you start back at 1. So I did the 75 hard challenge and I was able to complete that whole thing. During the 75 hard challenge, my meal plan of choice was plant-based and I worked out twice a day. One had to be outdoors, so that was walking, and which also helped me to complete my 10K steps. And then the other one was a workout, which I mostly did kickboxing. And during that time frame, I want to say I lost maybe another 10 to 12 pounds, somewhere in there. And again, I'll look through my app, see if I can go back and see what was my exact weight loss during that time. So I did 75 hard challenge. And so after coming off 75 hard, it had to be somewhere around October. And then I said, okay, well, I'm going to start my own challenge, which is a modified version of 75 hard. So we work out 1 time a day, 45 minutes. We do 10K steps. We drink as much water as we weigh. And we have a sensible meal plan, whatever that is that you want to stick to. So that also went for 75 days. And I continued my plant-based diet. And I did a combination of weight training and cardio, and I want to say I lost another 10 to 15 pounds. So that was how I got down 50 pounds, losing weight by the end of the year. During the end of that journey, that Unbig Your Back challenge, the weight loss did slow down because we were coming into holidays. So there was more socializing, more cheat days, more calories with those big, family dinners and stuff like that. So, but I did get down 50 pounds. And the last time I weighed myself, which was this year, I was at 167 pounds. I think the last time I weighed myself at the end of the challenge was 166 pounds. I did gain some weight between when I ended my challenge and when I started my new challenge. And so now I'm on the next leg of my journey. But that is essentially how I lost the weight, with just a sensible meal plan. I stuck to plant-based and working out regularly. I worked out about 5 times a week. I drank a lot of water, and I just committed to loving myself. I didn't do any, medical things to lose the weight. It was solely off of just moving my body more and being more intentional about what I put into my body. And so that's how me, as a 40 plus girly, was able to lose weight naturally and keep it off. I did, like I said, pick up some pounds during the holidays, but it wasn't anything crazy, and I've still been maintaining. But now I've kind of plateaued, but it's really because I haven't really been doing the work to lose the weight. Also, when you get more in a range of where you are supposed to be, the weight loss slows down some. So you come out of that obese range, your losing weight is going to slow down as well. So yeah, so I am starting my next leg, which is losing more weight, and my goal is to get down to 120 pounds. I don't know if I want to stay at 120 pounds. I just want to get down to 120 pounds, and I want to put back on about 10 to 15 pounds of muscle. That's really what my goal is. So ultimately, I would say my goal weight is about 135 pounds with about at least 15 pounds of muscle gained. But yeah, so that's how I lost 50 pounds naturally, and how you can too, if you want to. But of course, I am in support of whatever you need to do to lose weight. So whether that be medical intervention with Wegovy, Ozempic, whether that be through gastric bypass of some sort, whether that be through cosmetic surgery of some sort, whatever it is that you need to do. I'm not one of those people where I'm like, you cheated, it doesn't count. It does count. The goal is to be healthy, and whatever you need to do to get healthy is what you need to do for you. I am one of those people where I have to try and do it on my own first before I ask for any help. And that comes with anything in my life. I'm like, I got to do it. I got to try and do it first before I'm like waving my white flag. So that's just my personality type. But if you tried it and it didn't work, or even if you haven't tried to do it and you're just like, I just know me and I'm not going to be able to stick to it, I need some intervention. Do what you got to do to get healthy, because overall, showing yourself that is the ultimate form of self-care. You know, making yourself healthy, reading, educating yourself, spending time outdoors, being intentional about what you put in your mind, your body, and your spirit. That is the ultimate form of self-care. And all you guys know who have been with me for the long haul, you know that that is the ultimate goal of my channel, was about self-care and how to glow up and be the best version of you. And so I am still on that journey, y'all. So if you found this video helpful, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Drop a comment for me in the box below. Let me know if you're also on a weight loss journey. Let me know if you are also either about to start one or have finished one, or if you know anybody who are on a weight loss journey and you think this would be beneficial for them to hear about as well, share this video with others. And if you haven't already subscribed, what are you waiting for? We are a whole vibe. Join the tribe, subscribe to the channel. I have more and more videos coming to you. I want to thank you for watching to this point. You are a real one, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.